Surviving infidelity. Updated, my mom cheated on my dad, and she blames me. Hi. I'm a daughter of a mother who cheated on my father. My mother isn't exactly a pro in the social media department. Especially when it comes to passwords, remembering them, changing them, etc., etc. I've always done this because she asks me to, not because I wanted to, because she asks me to. This storm started with me having a political debate on Facebook with another individual, and leading to me being blocked. It was stupid really. And then it clicked in me. I'll just log on to mom's Facebook, not to continue an argument, just to get a better sense of who the other person was on the other side of the screen I had been arguing with. So I did so not to be nosy in her business. But then this gut-wrenching feeling hit me. A sickening feeling. Check her messenger, this feeling told me. So, I checked her messenger, and there it was. An explicit message to a man that was not my father. My heart immediately broke into a million pieces. Fast forward to present time, this happened Monday, she blames me for exposing her. You see, I knew when I met my mother face to face that Monday that she was not sorry, she was sorry she had been caught. She put up a front like she certainly tried. I told her I would not be the one to tell him. That she would be the one. And she did. I guess this only angered her more that I was not condoning her situation. She messaged me later that day and asked me for her passwords, and I reluctantly gave them to her. But everyone knows when you change your Facebook password, you click that little box, log me out of all other devices, and my mother didn't know this. Hence the reason I always helped her. So, I still had access to her account. I didn't tell her because I wanted to see my mother for who she was in this situation. I wasn't blind, and I was going to follow that gut feeling that told me that she was not sorry. Since then, she has continued to message her lover, saying that my grandmother told her, I should have smacked the piss out of Eve. She caused this. Eve wouldn't shut up until I told him, Eve has destroyed me, she has caused a mess. If Eve hadn't been nosy, I wouldn't be in this position. Newsflash, you wouldn't be in this position had you not cheated. Don't cheat unless you want to get caught. I hope her lover is worth losing, her only daughter, and husband of over 20 years. Now for the top advice before the update. This is not your fault. You hit it right on the head. She's not sorry, she is only remorseful that she was caught. If your dad blames you too, then that would be a tragedy, because all you did was expose a cheater. Cheaters are narcissists that only think of themselves and how things affect them. I'd hate to think that your dad would buy into her BS, but you never know, and you should prepare yourself in that eventuality. You can point him to this forum if necessary. You actually have the upper hand, because you can actually ask if the affair partner's wife knows. You actually hold the power over two families. When they come back at you, it's going to hurt and sting, but the proper reply is that you, yourself did not cheat, she did. Big hugs. No, he's not angry. Father's Day is coming up here in the US, and he told me, this year I didn't have to get him anything, because what I did was the best thing anyone had ever done for him. Good dad. He is the best. Has always worked hard to support his family. You need to start taking screenshots of all of that, especially if you are younger than 18, because there will be a custody aspect of the divorce if you are under 18. And you do not want her to have sole or 50% custody of you, when she is abusive. So by getting evidence that she wants to hit you, will go a long way in preventing her from getting custody. It will also help your dad get evidence that she participated in adultery. This is very important if you live in a fault state. This means that the person who had an affair, gets dinged during a divorce, could mean less alimony or parental custody rights. Depends on the state's specific law. It also will prevent any lies she may come up with during the divorce in order to get special treatment or deny her behavior. I do have screenshots. I am over 18, but I still took them. I will not be made out to be a fool or a liar. Update. Update on the situation with my grandmother. My mother is currently staying with my grandmother to give my father space. I called her to confront her, that I knew that she had messaged her lover the night it came out, and that I knew all the things she was saying about me. I asked her why she would do either of those things, and she told me that she'd done them out of anger. I asked her if my grandmother really said I needed to be smacked, and she said yes. She continued to give me excuse after excuse for her actions. Then told me she was going to have to move, when I then heard my grandmother in the background say, yeah, because of her. I then told my mother I didn't understand why it seemed so easy for people to turn against me. I told her I loved her, and got off of the phone. So much for family, I guess. Now for the next story. My, 25, brother-in-law, 35, discovered my sister, 28, was cheating on him, and my heart is breaking. Note, some minor details will be changed or omitted because IDK family members have read it account. But I won't be adding anything untruthful. I feel so weak, now I know how it feels when people say they feel numb. As context, my sister has always been the black sheep in our family, and was the most disobedient/rebellious in our Asian family household. Stayed out too late, fought with teachers, has history of lying/gaslighting. But since she had my beautiful niece and married my brother-in-law, she straightened her life and mellowed down her temper. My brother-in-law is the best you could ever wish for. He was gentle but not a pushover, he was always respectful and treated my parents very well. They lived a floor above where our family apartment is. I learned today that the reason for their fallout a week ago was my sister's infidelity. I listened when my older sister explained it to me, and comforted my brother-in-law, but I broke down crying when I went inside the toilet. My father cheated too when I was around 3 years old, had an estranged half-brother. But my mother was too dependent emotionally and financially to my father and they reconciled. This had a huge effect on my mental health since I learned of this fact when I was in high school. I am civil and thankful for his sacrifices, but a part of me always hated my father because of this. Never did I imagine that someone I love would do this again, and I didn't know that it would cause me so much pain. My brother-in-law was approached by the affair partner's wife and showed pics and other evidences of the infidelity. She collated everything and was planning to file an administrative case against my sister, so she will lose her job. My sister hasn't gone home in days. When my brother-in-law suddenly traveled 2 hours to go to his parents, we knew they fought. My sister said she caught him cheating, and told us to cut contact. She knew how our family viewed infidelity and so we blocked my brother-in-law. But I knew my sister, so I told my parents that we need to hear brother-in-law's side of the story. And lo and behold, he showed us months worth of pics and videos, kissing another guy. I can't even look at my parents' face without getting teary-eyed, because they just look crushed and so sorry. I don't know why I posted this, if I'm asking for advice or... I don't know. I was always a lurker in this sub because of my trust issues. It was both comforting and alarming, that a lot of people go through what I'm going through. I just don't know what to do. For me, my first priority is my toddler niece. We don't know what my sister is thinking, and she denies everything. She doesn't know about the evidences. We are afraid she will get my niece and just disappear. Just had dinner full of tears with our brother-in-law and I'm sick to my stomach. Now for the top advice before the update. Support the bill. Remind the sister of how traumatic your father's infidelity was, and why is she acting the same. Then minimize contact with the sister and encourage the bill to move on and seek a more trusting relationship, but ask to stay in his life with your niece. The first thing I did when I saw my brother-in-law, I hugged him and apologized. He was so close to our family, and he was the first brother we had. We're 4 girls in the family. I will never forget his heartbroken and worn out face. My sister is just a wall, even to us. We were all close, but this always happened when she messes up. Trouble, nasty confrontation, reconciliation, peace, and another trouble. Through it all, we forgave her and had a strong sister's bond. However, her pride is too strong and I don't have the strength to fight with her anymore. My other sisters and I are all angry at her, but my mind and body are just tired. We don't even know where she is. My parents and sisters are still trying to contact her now. From our conversation, I think my brother-in-law is trying to reconcile. Not 100% sure. After he learned of the affair, he waited for her to confess. Called her and asked if she had anything to confess. She said nothing. He said all he wants is to talk to her honestly. I don't know if my sister is trying to process the mess she is in, and I don't know if she wants to reconcile or not. I hate thinking my niece will grow with a broken family, but if it were up to me, I hope they won't get back together. I think they will end up fighting all the time, always suspicious, and that's what I grew up with. But I don't think I can tell my brother-in-law what to do right now. Answering this question has made me realize the reason for posting this rant. It's because I am so confused right now, between loving and hating my sister, feeling so guilty towards my brother-in-law, and siding with my family, not because anyone is telling me to, but because my sister is my family. Maybe that's why I feel this way. This is an important reminder that cheating victimizes more than just the spouse or the children. It abuses entire families. You need to support your sister, but that means some very tough love. Supporting her means calling her out when she tries gaslighting, blame shifting, and anything else short of full accountability for what she's done, and how it has impacted those she loves. Tell her you love her and that's why you're not participating in her nonsense about it. Your first sentence was the first trigger to my tears, because my brother-in-law also said this to me when we were talking about the affair partner's wife, his parents, my parents, and just the huge number of people affected by my sister's infidelity. I know the hate and anger I'm feeling will subside, just like it did the previous times, and I will continue to love my sister. I never held back saying mean things to her if they were true, and emphasized on how the consequences also include hurting us, our parents, her family. I am dreading the confrontation and am scared about the end result, but it is inevitable that in the end, no matter how many profanities I throw out, I can't ever hurt her or leave her. My only advice would be don't turn your back on him. My brother's wife cheated, and eventually he was able to get over the heartbreak, but what he couldn't get over was losing her family. He was very close to her family, especially her mom, and they just forgot he existed after his wife left him. You don't have to be his best friend, but let him know he isn't worthless and didn't deserve this. Thank you for bringing this up. When my fiancé was outed as being a cheater, only my soon-to-be mother-in-law reached out, but eventually stopped, because she couldn't deal with knowing what her son had done. It killed me more, because not only did I lose 4 years of my life, but I was abandoned by people who I loved and now miss. It hurts to be ignored by people who you saw as family when you're the victim. Now for the first update. After reading the comments, I would like to clarify some things. A. No, I do not have romantic feelings for my brother-in-law. My father is a disciplinarian and the only guy in the family. We are 4 girls, so when we got a gentle and caring brother, he became a welcome male figure in our lives. He taught me how to drive, never hesitated to leave work when my sister called him for guy help. He has bonded with some of my boyfriends, and intimidated the creeps. It was refreshing, this kind of dynamic. We felt comfortable because he wasn't dad and we could trust him easily because he wasn't a temporary fling. He showed us that he was family. He never told us he loved/cared for us, but he showed us. And so did we. B. I am the official babysitter, because whatever I had going, I can cancel if it means I get to take care of my niece. We bonded a lot through the years and she means the world to me. My parents and sisters feel the same way. My niece grew up in an extended family setup, and so it is almost impossible to keep a problem to yourself. Everyone would try to offer help and you just have to ask for help or convey that you can solve it yourself. My sisters and I also grew up with a tight-knit bond. We had room to ourselves, but always ended up hanging out in one room, because we always loved doing things together until college, and then now where we all have work. But I never thought we weren't close anymore. Even we all became adults and started seeing each other less, and that's how it's almost an automatic reaction to run to anyone who is having a hard time. C. I posted this last night, when I was deeply emotional, and the shock of what happened was still very raw. Being so overwhelmed was a reaction to thinking that I had lost a really important part of my life. Because I know it's never going to be the same again. I knew that infidelity has permanent cracks that no magic glue can fix. I was so afraid of this happening again. After the fallout of discovering my father's infidelity years ago, I thought peace to our family has finally come, and only had happiness for the future. My niece was a welcome surprise and brought overflowing positive vibes. My oldest sister and her longtime boyfriend is planning to get married. My second oldest sister's dream job is within her reach after years of hard work. I am finally working at a job I enjoy and with people I like. My sister and brother-in-law told us they were trying for a second kid, and we were nothing but supportive. Then everything breaks down. I was probably extra hysterical on my post because in real life, I had to hold it up for my devastated old parents, defeated brother-in-law, and innocent niece. D. Yes, my family is the source of my happiness. I don't think this is being selfless or being a good person. For me, that's how it's normally supposed to be. This was how I grew up. I will drop everything I have going on, if it means I can be with the person I love. Not because I am too involved, or too nosy. It's because I honestly want to be there for them, and one of the feelings I hate the most in this world is the feeling of regret. I'd rather give my everything now rather than think of what ifs tomorrow. Second update, what happened next, won't give extensive details, it was too messy. 1. Sister and brother-in-law talked. Denials and no confession. Sister was breaking down and I have never seen her this crazy. She's like a different person. What broke me was seeing my mom and dad ugly cry. 2. In my opinion, there will be no reconciliation. 3. For the meantime, my niece will be taken care of by my parents as agreed by everyone. Because of COVID, I get lots of opportunity to work from home, and so I will take advantage of this. I want to personally take care of my niece too as much as I can. 4. Divorce is not the first option right now. It will be very difficult from where we are from. From the conversation, separation is the band-aid solution, while everyone tries to figure out the situation. 2 days is a very short time to plan for the future. 5. Told my parents and sisters they can decide for themselves, but I will not be cutting off brother-in-law and I will not let my sister be alone with my niece. I will help her with logical requests when she asks me to. Right now, I want to distance myself from her, but will definitely help if she wants me to. 6. This is a very heartbreaking, confusing, and weird time for all of us. Pre-COVID, all weekends were family activities, and we were quite the large, noisy but happy crowd. Like Christmas every week. When COVID happened, we always had fun with video chats and our group chats was a happy and funny mess. It's so weird to go from that to this. Getting this off my chest when I can't in real life is refreshing and has helped me in a way I didn't know was possible. Whether great or ridiculous, I appreciate everyone's comments/advice. Thank you for taking the time to listen to a stranger's worst nightmare. I read your comments around 30 minutes ago and I cried again. It was a good one though. Just like someone said, felt nice to let it out. Don't have many close friends, and because of COVID, I have barely hung out with my best friend. We chat often, but I just can't seem to share this heartbreak to anybody, not even my family. They probably don't know how this whole situation is affecting me, and I don't want them to know. I can't put into words how liberating it felt to share this story here, and reading the comments is just a whole other level of high I haven't felt before. That somebody out there can give insights and hit the bullseye. Thank you, for everyone who reached out and gave virtual hugs. The comments are just full of eye-openers. The situation sucks, there are things that I can do and not do. I did not want or cause this situation, but it's happening anyway. And that's okay. This was an eye-opening observation. I was affected so much because my nightmares are coming true and the people I love are hurt. There are great advice such as separating myself from the situation, and not wallowing in too much guilt, and I like that. The idea is too good to be true, but baby steps. I want to try working on that. I don't know if I will continue to update what happens, but I sure will read and reply to the comments. Some are not the type of advice/comfort/reply I was expecting, but nevertheless appreciate them. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day, everyone.